Seriously, it is up to us. But let me share with you just one data point. These are the kinds of things you need to use when you're talking to your friends who don't do politics or think, hey, Uncle Joe's so nice. That president, he's just such a nice old man. I did a little bit of math for my last Sunday show on Newsmax, the Gawker reality check. Because my thing is national security. I'm a wonk. I eat, drink, and dream national security. If you take every war we have fought in since the end of World War II, so from 45 to today, you can add up every soldier, airman, marine, sailor, and Coast Guard who has died. Whether it's Korea, Vietnam, First Gulf War, Second Gulf War, Afghanistan, you can add it all up. The number of total killed in action, total in 70 years, is 103,000. 103,000 Americans died wearing the cloth of the Republic to keep you safe. On Biden's CDC website, you can look it up right now. It's very hard to find because they don't want you to find it. On Biden's CDC website, you can find this stat. In the last 12 months in America, deaths by fentanyl poisoning totaled 110,000 Americans. More Americans have been murdered by Chinese fentanyl in the last year because of Biden's open border than have died in every war since we won the Second World War. That is why I tell you right now, the enemies are out there. I get it. I get it. Xi Jinping in China, the mullahs in Iran, Putin in the Kremlin, I get it. But the biggest threat we face are our fellow Americans who do not believe in America. We are living in a time that no civilization has ever survived. It is utterly perverse. As a guy who likes history, think of this. Can you imagine any regime, I don't care if it's an ancient empire, a city-state, a kingdom, any regime in history, any part of the world that was run by people who hate the country they're running? It's perverse. Why would you run to be the president of a country you detest? Remember Obama said, we're moments away from fundamentally changing America. Do you want to fundamentally change something that you love? Try that with your wife, gentlemen. I love you, but I want to fundamentally change you. Little nip and a tuck here, little, Yeah, get back to me, how that works out. You don't want to fundamentally change something you love? And here's the sad thing, we're all concerned. I grew up under Maggie Thatcher. Maggie Thatcher's my heroine, right? I was in the UK, living in the time of Maggie, looking at Ronnie here, and I just, wow, this is conservatism for me. Call me a paleocon, right? OG conservatism. But today, it's not even about politics. Take away the letter R after your name. Let's not talk about the GOP. Oh, and by the way, can I just get a little bit political for a second? Will you let me? Can we be clear that my boss in 2015 won despite the GOP, not thanks to the GOP? Can we just, on the record, please? So, it's not about politics. It's not about R or D. The dividing line in America today is one thing. It's just one thing. Do you love America or do you hate it? Do you love America as the greatest nation on God's earth or do you hate it? I know you do, but what are you going to do to make sure we keep it? Yes. But what does fight mean? Come to CPAC, write a check for the local congressman? No, no. I'm deadly serious now. I'm going to leave you on this. If you are not running for local office, I don't care if it's the local library board. If you're not running for local office, you are helping the Democrats. End of story. End of story. If my wife, who hates politics, detests politics because she's sane, can come to me 2 years ago and say, love, I'm running for the local community center board. I said, you mean you're asking my permission, right? Because you've read St. Paul's letter, right, about wives and husbands. No, she said, oh, I've registered, I've got the signatures, I'm running. What? You're running? You hate politics. He said, oh yeah, I hate it. But when I saw them in the local library have a drag queen story hour for kids, I said, that's it. We're not having sexually explicit, perverse things for children. I'm running for the school board. If my wife, Katie Gore, can do that, then what the hell are you doing to save America? All right, guys, get busy. God bless you. Let's make 24 the biggest victory in conservative history.
Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our...
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and my employees and I want to thank each and every one of you for your continued support. With everything going on right now, your rest is so important. That's why we're having the biggest MyPillow sale ever. Not only are my bed pillows as low as $19.98, but you can get the best body pillows ever. Regular $89.98, now only $29.98. Take your rest on the go with our Roll and Go Anywhere My Pillows for only $14.98. And we have our new couch and accent pillows. They aren't just for looks. They have MyPillow's patented adjustable fill that gives you that amazing MyPillow comfort. In this economy, you get the best gifts ever for the best prices ever. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code and you get deep discounts on body, couch, bolster pillows, and so much more, including my original bed pillows for as low as $19.98. Please order now while quantities last. Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and my employees and I want to thank you for your continued support by bringing you the biggest bath sale ever. Get my 6-piece towel sets for the lowest price ever, only $39.96. His and her bathrobes, 50% off. Bath mats for as low as $17.49. And I'm also excited to announce the original My Slippers are back in stock. And now they come in even more colors and wide sizes. They're made with the same great patented technology. And yes, you'll still save $90 a pair. So get the biggest savings ever on.
For American greatness, Julie Kelly. Producer and director at AMDC Films, Amanda Milius. And your moderator, host of Human Events Daily, Jack Posobiec.
showing us.
All right. Good morning, CPAC. Good morning, National Harbor. Good morning, Patriots. You know, it's early in the morning, but that's okay, because as Amanda said backstage, the clip doesn't know what time it is, so eventually at some point we'll be watching back later on this, but it's amazing to see everybody here. It's amazing to see everyone's smiling faces and Amanda. And it's great to see so many people here this morning, but I always say this when I speak at CPACs, I almost wish we didn't have to be here. You know what I mean? Because I wish we could just be living our lives. I wish we could be raising our families, being with our kids, going to church, Easter's coming up. I wish that we could be focusing on those things. But unfortunately, we are dealt with a situation in which we were all born into. We were born into a situation where we have an out-of-control government, an out-of-control administrative state, an out-of-control swamp, which we are currently within smelling distance of right now. I don't know if you guys smell that wafting over. No, that's not East Palestine. That's Washington, D.C. So I just wanted to kind of go down the line here and just top line, if you could pick, your one main priority, and we'll just kind of go in order as we're sitting here, for taking on the deep state, taking on the swamp, because I want to empower not just the politicians, not just the lawmakers, but the people, right? Because CPAC is all about power to the people. So Kash Patel, what can people do to get active in this fight?
Besides buy your book.
Besides watch Plot Against the President.
Other than, yeah.
Listen to Pozo and Julie. So
Well
this is an amazing
done.
panel.
Get that out of the way.
And,
Buy the books, listen to the podcast.
The deep state is something that, like Jack was saying, not only did we wish we didn't have to do this. I wish we didn't have to address a deep state.
Yeah.
That's something that you're talking about in like tyrannical dictatorships. But in 2023 America, you have a two-tier system of justice that was created by the very people that were supposed to serve you and create an equal tier system of justice. I mean, Julie is the expert on how the January 6th defendants have been mistreated and how their due process rights have been violated. So the way that I think you crack the deep state is personnel. And it's not necessarily a fault of the last Trump administration, because what did they do? They were never in politics. They came in and said, okay, you guys have been government 15, 20 years. We're supposed to be able to rely on you for being, whether it's Republican or Democrat, to do the national security mission, to do the America First mission, to put the interests of Americans first. And some of those people, a lot of them, unfortunately, we just got it wrong. So I think the bench, I want to highlight this. The bench exists. The people are there for every agency and department. And I got so motivated behind it that I wrote a book called Government Gangsters, which the deep state is actually trying to prevent the release of that manuscript. But we're going to take them to court. It'll hopefully be out this spring. And you got to educate everyone. I list every single government gangster by agency and department. But the one thing Donald Trump taught me was don't just highlight the problem. What's the solution? How do we fix the FBI, DOJ, and the swamp and every other agency? And it starts with personnel and it ends with congressional oversight. And hopefully that's something that's ramping up.
And that means getting the right people in office who understand exactly what Kash is talking about. I want to see congressional candidates that have your book with notes and highlights and underlines and dog ears and everything. Some people
Not
think
with
that's
the RNC we have now.
Oh,
Sorry.
we'll talk about that. Julie Kelly, though, and by the way, congratulations to Julie Kelly, because of your yeoman's work on the Jan 6 issue. Seriously, give it up for her. And I want people to understand that in the dark days, in Jan 7th, Jan 8th, Jan 9th, I'll tell you something. Everybody knows I'm on Twitter constantly. I didn't even tweet those days because I didn't know what was going on. I went 3 days without tweeting.
Now that is a national emergency.
huge.
That's national emergency right there. We didn't know what was happening. The censorship hammer was coming down. People were getting arrested left and right. And there was one person that stood up and said, what's going on is wrong. And that was Julie Kelly. And just this week, Rasmussen just dropped a new poll that said 61%, not of Republicans, but of all voters believe that January 6th was likely provoked and instigated by federal agents. 61%.